Many people suffer from pain and physical problems. Very few people know that these problems are often related to trigger points. Understanding and treating trigger points helps to lessen pain and improve overall health. Trigger point is a sensitive area in the muscle or connective tissue that becomes painful in the back, neck, shoulders, muscles, and even head edge when compressed. They can be caused by injury or repetitive movement and can be extremely long-term painful if not treated correctly. Pressing on a trigger point can cause referred pain and can help identify the external area in the body generating the pain. On the other hand, trigger points can also be a point from which pain radiates throughout the muscle and fascia, causing myofascial pain syndromes, with myo means muscle tissue and fascia means the connective tissue around it. Myofascial trigger points typically occur around an injury or an overused muscle group. This is because when the muscles are stressed, they are more likely to contract and form tight and painful knots. Trigger point myotherapy targets these sensitive sites of the body to apply concentrated amounts of pressure to relieve muscle spasms. Trigger points can exist in each muscle of the body, multiple connections at the same time. Often both sides of the area affected equally, the trigger point keeps the muscle tired and weak, restricting the muscle's range of motion. Trigger point can actually cause pain or it can cause no pain unless touched. Mostly, this pain is sent to a different area of the body. This is called referred pain. Referred pain can make finding and treating trigger points difficult, but luckily, referred pain follow typically patterns that we well documented. Let's take a closer look at the trigger point, which lies in a taut band. Taut band is a strand of muscle that feels like a cord, easily mistaken for tendon. The trigger point itself can be felt the fingertips, and its location is superficial. The size varies from a pinhead to a pea. A trigger point responds by sending out pain signals. Return your brain will stimulate you to stop using the muscle, which further shortens and tightens up the muscle. Trigger points will not release without proper treatment. The most effective way to treat a trigger point is applying deep stroking massage directly to the trigger point.
Now I'm going to talk about neck trigger points. Neck pain and stiffness are very common. Most of us have, at one point or another, have experienced it. One of the most common causes are myofascial trigger points. Trigger points from in muscles tissue from overload stress. This stress causes muscle fibers to be contracted into a knot and produces pain and stiffness. Trigger points are complex. They are both easy to pinpoint but hard to diagnose. They can directly cause muscle pain, which may be apparent to detect, but they are elusive because they can mimic other problems. There are several ways to treat trigger points and myofascial pain syndrome. The first one, at-home therapies, which we are going to talk to today. Second, massage therapy. Third, dry needling. Physical therapy, medications, and also trigger points injections. Here are two examples of trigger point exercise for neck pain. The first one would be foam roller exercise. Step 1. Simply lying flat on the floor and place a foam roller below your neck. The sore trigger point muscles can stretch them out. Step 2. Roll back and forth slowly at least 20 times a day.
Back and forth, shake your head no, and kind of that's all the pressure you need for this area. The neck again is kind of a sensitive area. You don't really want.
Do not worry if you do not have a foam roller at home, as the second exercise is chin tucking, which does not require any equipment at all. Step 1. Stand with feet shoulder width apart and upper spine against a wall. Step 2. Face forward. Pull head straight back. Chin tuck so head touches the wall. Step 3. Hold for 5 seconds and repeat 10 times. These two simple trigger point therapy can help us to alleviate pain, improve posture, reduce headaches, and improve flexibility and range of motion. So do not hesitate to try them out.
Trigger point is a small muscle contraction which can be felt as a small nodule. Pushing on this nodule is very painful. Trigger points can exist in each muscle of the body. Multiple trigger points can exist at the same time. Often both sides of the body are affected equally. The trigger points keeps the muscle tight and weak, tricking the muscle range of motion. The trigger point can cause no pain unless it is touched. Mostly, this pain is sent to a different area of the body. It is called as referred pain. Trigger points at the back of the body includes the lower back, upper back, and the buttock. At the low back, usually appear at hip, buttocks, side of the thigh, and hamstrings. This can cause sciatica, trochanteric bursitis, and low back pain, and the related muscles are gluteus medius and minimus. The trigger points at bottom back and bottom are usually being ignored until it gets massaged, and then it is like scratching an itch they didn't even know they had. Even when they have low back pain caused or complicated by soreness in this patch of muscle, most people think it seems too tight to be involved. But trigger points here are common and often refer pain downwards, fooling us into thinking our low back pain is lower than it is. The trigger points consist in the upper central corner of the quadratus lumborum muscle and in the thick column of muscle that braces the spine, the erector spinae. The importance of muscle here are often unsuspected because the key gluteus medius and minimus trigger points are not found where the symptoms are, but they produce symptoms that spread backwards to the sacrum and down the leg. We move to the trigger points at the upper body. This normally related to the trigger points at the neck. It involves scalene muscles. Pain in the scalenus is often felt just about anywhere. Instead of your scalenus, your arm and chest might get hurt instead. The region and its muscle are complex, and many less trained massage therapists have low confidence working with them. Just like the pain of the heart attack spreads from the heart into the shoulder and arm, the pain of painful scalene muscles spreads throughout the chest, upper back and chest, the arm and hand, and the side of the head. Pain referred to the back may feel like a penetrating pain, stabbing through the hand and the side.
Next is trigger point massage on hands. In acupressure, pressure points are thought to be powerfully sensitive parts of the body. Some people believe that by applying pressure to body's pressure points, it can help relieve pain, establish balance, and improve health throughout the body. There are 5 essential pressure points in the hand. Here is where you can find them, what they can do, and how can you manipulate them for your benefit. The Heart 7 pressure point can be found in the crease of your wrist. It lies in line with the space between your ring and pinky finger. Reflexologists claim that applying gentle pressure to this spot may protect against anxiety, insomnia, heart palpitations, and depressions. The small intestine 3 pressure point is located at the outside part of your hand, right on the edge. The point lies in the depression of your hand just below your pinky finger. Putting firm pressure on this point is thought to relieve neck pain, earaches, and headaches that occur at the back of your head. You can find your lung meridian pressure point by looking at the edge of your hand. It runs from the tip of your thumb down along to the side of your hand and ending just beneath the crease of your wrist. Run your finger along this line. If you find a sore spot along this line, reflexologist says that you should gently massage it until it feels better. This may help relieve any cold symptoms such as chills, sneezing, runny nose, and sore throat. The inner gate point can be found in a special spot on the crease of your wrist. Hold out your hand with your wrist together. Then take one hand and feel about 3 cm from where your wrists were touching in the middle. Reflexologists recommend you to massage this point firmly with your thumb. This is believed to improve your digestion and relieve any nausea or stomach pain. The outer gate point can be found between 2 tendons on the back side of your arm. Place 3 fingers above your wrist. Use those fingers to apply firm pressure to give your immune system a quick boost. Reflexologists also believe that by applying pressure to this part of your hand could give you a rush of energy.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Mashita binti Hassan and I will continue this video with another trigger point, refer pain to the calf, ankle and heel regions. So basically there are so many trigger points on the leg. For example, gastrocnemius trigger point, soleus trigger point, tibialis posterior trigger point, tibialis anterior trigger point, peroneal trigger point, and the last one is gluteus minimus trigger point. But in this video, I will share only 2 types of trigger points, which is gastrocnemius trigger point and soleus trigger point. Alright, firstly, we must know what is the symptoms of gastrocnemius trigger point. Number 1 is number 2 and number 3. Next, we must know what is the factor. Number 1 is because of the chilling of the muscle. Number 2 is walking or jogging in sand. Number 3, wearing high heels. Number 4, deficiency of vitamin E. Now we proceed to the associated symptoms of soleus trigger point. Number 1 is jogger's heel. Number 2, feel the tenderness in the heel region. Number 3, unbearable pain on placing weight on the heel. And the last one is aching at night, but it is not cramp. And that's all for the symptoms for soleus trigger point. Next, we should know what is the factor that activate the soleus trigger point.
Number 1 is foot slipping at toe off while running or walking fast. Number 2 is jogging. Number 3 is hiking uphill. Number 4 is wearing non-flexible shoes. And number 5, wearing high heels. And the last one is wearing a tight sock.
can see the ball moving slowly and deeply in short strokes from one side of the trigger point to the other. Series typically consist of about 8 to 12 strokes and are performed about 5 to 10 times a day. By using deep stroking massage, you are milking the trigger point, so to speak. Blood and lymph fluid is moved out containing waste generated by the contracted muscle fibers. Each time you move over the trigger point and release the pressure, fresh blood immediately flows in, bringing fresh oxygen and nutrients. It may take several weeks to return the muscle fibers to their normal state and fully release the trigger point.